Hello, and welcome to a small episode of 100% Real with Ruby. So, we constantly go through life and experience things in either a positive light or a negative light. We either feel like we're soaring or it's like a catastrophe because everything's just beating us down. And once we got a lot of great ground and we've been doing things amazingly, we've been eating well, we've been following our plans, all of a sudden something just isn't going right, whether it's shit sleep, life happens, hormones happen, and then we just start beating ourselves up, wondering what's wrong with us and why we aren't getting results, critiquing our bodies, wondering why our body is a certain way, why we aren't getting results. And I'm here to tell you, you're human. And I really wanted to put some French in there. You're beeping human. No, really, you're human. And it's almost like we expect to be like some superhero who's just repellent of all this negative shit and we just have to be positive all the time. But that's not ideal. That's not real. And it just doesn't work that way. It's not all going to be sunshine and rainbows. We're not always going to feel like we're on top of the world. We're not always going to feel like we're a badass and our body's a badass and we're so happy with the way everything is. We're not always going to have amazing sleep, amazing this, and that's okay. There is nothing wrong with you. Like, I see this all the time where people are doing so well and then next minute, why am I feeling like this? And then beating themselves up. And it's like, no, there's nothing wrong with you. You don't need to try and put it down to a cause. You don't need to try and figure out what happened here, what happened there, what happened 10 years into the past to make you this way. You know what made you this way? The fact that you're human. Like, one way to immediately change your state, because I'm not going to just make this a podcast about me telling you that you're human, but every single time you complain about something, every single time that you see something in a negative way, you're giving it a negative charge. And every time that this type of event happens, this type of feeling happens, something similar happens, you're going to bring in that same negative charge. Now, because that's a negative charge and it's 1 to the minus, we want to put in 2 or 3 positives. So every single time this happens, think of 2 or 3 things that you're grateful for. Or think about, like, grateful for around the same topic. Or think about 2 to 3 positives around the same thing, the same experience / if the same thing happens again. What are 2 or 3 positive things that can come out of this, or that happened leading up to this, or just any 2 or 3 positive things that can add a positive charge to it. Now, on the other end, thinking about the gap, and like we're always in this missing space of how far away we are from where we want to be. And this is where I talk about the gap or the gain, where are you living in the gap or are you living in the gain? Because the gap is showing us everything we're missing, how far away we are from where we want to be. It's bringing in the fact that we compare ourselves a lot to other people a lot of the time. And we feel like we're not there yet. Or we're doing things the wrong way, or there's something wrong with us because we're progressing so slow, or we're not progressing at all because it's not as good as this person or that person. Whereas if you look at it as the gain, you're looking at it as what there is still to gain, how much more potential you have. But that's based off realizing, look how far you've come already, how much you've already gained, all the things you've already accomplished. And the bottleneck when it comes to this is we tend to put our whole meaning of progress and our whole meaning of success into the one definition of what does the scale say, what does the mirror say, what does this number say, what does that number say. We're not zooming out enough. And this is why I hate a lot of challenges and like this red flag business of what comes about programs and diets and challenges, whatever the hell. Like, it doesn't zoom out. It doesn't focus on all the other things that make success what it is, so that it can actually stay and not just be a one night stand or a 1 week stand if you're lucky enough. But you need to realize there is a lot more that goes into your journey than just the mental masturbation of numbers. Now, the biggest part of this whole podcast that I wanted to touch on is the start, the stop, and the keep. First, we need to look at stop. Because we're always looking of things we need to do. We need to do this, we need to do that. Maybe we need to try this habit, that habit. But we can get a lot out of a journey just from stopping shit that we need to stop. Because a lot of the time we're just doing shit we don't need to do because we feel we should be doing it, and you should never should yourself, or because this person's doing it, or it's just not serving us. So what is there right now that you're currently doing that you should stop doing, that you need to say no to? Now look at what you need to keep doing. What is currently working for you? Another question to ask yourself in that regard is, how is it making you feel? If it's making you feel the way you desire to feel, happy, confident, rah, 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 keep doing it. And the last thing is, what do you need to start doing? Every time you say yes to something, you're saying no to something else. So we're making room for things that we need to start doing. I hope this podcast helped you. And I hope you can go away with some things to think about moving forward. And I'm so excited for the next couple of guests that I have coming on, because it's going to be a pretty damn awesome show talking about a lot of things: metabolism, fat loss, things that a lot of people don't consider when they go on any journey to sustain their weight loss, which is why a lot of people get stuck in yo-yoing cycles and self-sabotage. So I'm very keen for those podcasts to come out. So for now, I hope you gain a lot from this little tidbit, and I will see you / have you listen to me in the next episode.